Hey yo, what's good? It's Capital X TV. I think this is episode 10. So we're gonna get right into it. Basically, the question is, does breakdancing belong in the Olympics? If you notice, I wore my Gorilla Republic hip hop tee. You know what I'm saying? It's got a b-boy on there representing the b-boys in the birthplace of hip hop. This is actually a silhouette of my boy from Prato, Italy, Gary the Dog. Yeah, Gary the Dog and his boys showed me much love when I was touring through Italy. Shout out to Gary. So yeah, some time ago I did one of my, walking rants, and it was on this topic after I had heard that they decided to put breaking in the Olympics. And I was like, man, I had mixed feelings about it. And instead of just posting that rant, I figured I would do it like this, calmly. I was kind of going off, I said I'll do it calmly and try to hit some points and try to see if y'all will share your input on this, because I think it's important. If y'all don't know, I came into the culture as a b-boy, and like I always say, b-boy for life. You know what I mean? Still got love for the art of breaking. So yeah, back in '77, I was introduced to I say the culture of hip hop, but it wasn't called hip hop back then. It was just something that we did. Actually, it was my cousin that was doing it, but I jumped right in after I was introduced. So my cousin was down with a crew called the Dynamite Kids, and they were rockers. If you don't know what rocking is, as far as I know, historically, rocking came before breaking. Rocking, it's like, when you see breakers and they up on top doing the top rock, that kind of simulates a little bit of rocking. But rocking was more like these choreographed, like, fight routines. And just like breaking has moves, that, that have names, footwork, top rock and all that, windmills, head spins. Rockin' had different moves that they also did within these choreographed routines. So anyway, that's how I got introduced to it. My cousin Flex was doing it. He was nice with it, man. He was really nice with it. His boys, they was all dope. I got to see them in a week-long competition. I don't believe they won, but they put up a good fight. They made it all the way, into the semifinals and the finals. But anyway, from the moment I seen them, I'm talking within the first minute of seeing them doing, this dance form, I was hooked. I was all in. I wanted in. You know what I mean? It's like blood in. What is it? Is it blood in? I'm down. So I absolutely fell in love with it. And so that's how I was introduced to, the culture. And a couple years later, started seeing the breakers come out, the going down, hitting the floor, and the spinning with the footwork and all that. And I, of course, just, naturally progressed into that. But so did the rocking and did the breaking for, not a long time, but, I put in my time. So I feel like I'm qualified to ring in on this, even after I retired from breaking and started rapping, getting into the rapping. I stayed close by, going to different parties and jams where b-boys was at, and like I said, when I was touring, and this is even, years later, when I was touring and got to Italy, the b-boys there showed me mad love. It was actually the first time I ever rapped with b-boys on stage, which to me is like the highest honor ever. It was one of the greatest moments, in my entire life within the culture. Absolutely loved it. Like I said, the b-boys was from Prato, Italy, but yeah, they toured around neighboring cities with me. They even traveled to Rome, and we performed in Rome together. It was absolutely amazing. So yeah, I stayed connected to, that element of hip hop. I know a lot of rappers nowadays, yeah, I mean, nowadays there's rappers that don't even, even think about breaking or even graffiti. I doubt they even think about the DJ, to be honest with you. It's crazy. But anyway, so to the question, does breaking belong in the Olympics? I mean, I'm really conflicted because, I mean, on one hand, it's great to see the art of breaking get that type of recognition. Straight up, it's amazing, especially me seeing it as far back as I did. I mean, it was really almost like a little secret society. You know what I'm saying? You used to have to really be connected and know where to go, if you was to see breaking. This is before it hit the movies and it started, blowing up. So I seen it as something that we did. I seen it grow into the culture slowly, and then eventually, seen it explode into the phenomenon that it still is. It's not. You don't see it as much these days, but it's never died down. If you're into breaking, it's everywhere. So throughout my travels, I've, like I said, in Italy, also in France, the France b-boys showed me mad love. France was really dope because they really stayed true to the elements and the old school hip hop. Practicing on the streets and all that. It was an incredible experience. At the same time, going through these different countries, seeing how big breaking had got, I seen competitions that were being held in stadiums, and I distinctly remember, questioning these competitions. I mean, again, the recognition and all that it was something, it left me speechless. But I did, question like, okay, who's holding these competitions in these arenas, and I seen it's like they had, markets all over, all kinds of hip hop clothing, and I was just, it was kind of strange to me to see it like that, coming from where I came from. So I questioned, like, are these people that are, in the culture, from the culture, or are they culture vultures that are exploiting, the culture? That's what I was questioning, and I really, I think, to be honest with you, I think some of them were definitely culture vultures, and that's what I'm looking at with the Olympics. My question is if breaking's going to be in the Olympics, is the culture going to benefit from it? Because doing a little tiny bit of research, I found out like gold medal winners, they get like somewhere around 35 or 40,000 in between, somewhere in between there, $40,000. So that doesn't set you for life, but I know that a lot of opportunity comes to gold medalists. They tour and do all kinds of things, so all kinds of great opportunities come their way. And I would think that, the bronze and the silver, they might not get paid as much for winning the medals. But again, they would probably get a lot of opportunities to do a lot of different things. Probably even, break into Hollywood if they want to. But what about all the other participants? What do they get, for their years of putting in work, to even get to that level? And I know that the Olympics, man, it generates a lot of money. Now, I know whatever city is hosting the Olympics, they spend millions of dollars preparing for the Olympics to be there, but it generates billions. I don't know how many billions, but I know it's billions. It ain't even millions. They make billions across the board from, you're talking people going to the Olympics, paying to get in, and all the memorabilia, all of the money that's generated throughout the city with hotels, restaurants, and then you're talking about, TV, selling ads, all that. They generate billions. So that's, where I get worried. Is like, so is it, is it something that benefits the culture? Are they going to give back? Like, let's say to the Bronx where it originated. You know, I know they're trying to build a hip hop museum. Will they, you know, will they give money to the museum? Will they give money to the Bronx in general for the youth? You know, to help, you know, fix up the hood there. And what about all the other hoods? Because I mean, they said it started in the Bronx, but then it grew to this, you know, worldwide phenomenon. Styles coming from all different hoods across the country. You know, are these neighborhoods, these poor neighborhoods where hip hop, you know, thrived and where it came from, are they gonna benefit, or are they just going to exploit the culture once again? You know, that's where my question, you know, I'm focused. It's like, damn, if they're just gonna, you know, exploit us once again like they've done to just about every element, you know, then yeah, I'd be like, fuck that. You know, if they are gonna get back to the culture, then of course, man, I'm down with that. And I know that some people, you know, some big names, you know, historic names, you know, like founders have co-signed, you know, for the breaking in the Olympics. But you know, my thinking is like, okay, did they get paid off to co-sign? You know, or did they even raise the question? It's like, what's it gonna do for hip hop? Seriously, because I mean, for me, like I said, what's it gonna throw it back into the mainstream where it's gonna flood the, you know, the media all over again and be in movies all over again? Because I mean, you still see it. It's still out there. It's still thriving. And I've said this in another video, earlier video, when I was talking about Big Daddy Kane and KRS-One, where KRS-One had the B-Boys up on stage. I know that wasn't just something that he did in verses. I've seen KRS-One perform a number of times, and he had B-Boys with him. So I was saying in that video that that's what I would like to see, you know, that relationship, you know, thrive again, where, you know, the B-Boys with the DJs and the MCs in shows together. You know, that's how hip hop parties used to be. If you wanted to see breaking, you had to go to a hip hop party where the DJ there's the anchor, you know, and then you have the MC. And if you was lucky, B-Boys was in the house and they would start up ciphers. That's the only way you got to see. As a matter of fact, man, in the early days when we used to go to clubs, if we saw a lot of out-of-towners in the club, nobody would break because we was like, you know, thinking that they was there to, you know, not spy, but you know, we don't know. Are they here to bite? So we wouldn't do it. It was like, it was our thing. It was our thing. And, you know, I understand, you know, we want to share the art form and all that, but we don't want to get exploited. We've been, man, chewed up and spit out. We got founders that can't even, you know, pay the rent. And that's not cool. So that's my question. You know, is the culture gonna benefit? If it is, then I'm down with it. You know, 100%. But if not, I'm guessing. I mean, it's gonna happen anyway. But I'm asking y'all, what do you think? You know, because yeah, if everybody throughout the, you know, culture, you know, started thinking on this and asking the question, and we found out that no, the culture's not going to benefit. I mean, we could boycott the Olympics just like we boycotted the Grammys back in the day and everything else. I mean, if we wanted to, we could do that. I don't know. I'm always down to raise some hell. You know, I'm just looking to protect our culture because, man, it's just been picked apart and it's, yeah, it's scattered all over. And that's why I love the last verses with Big Daddy Kane and KRS-One. It's kind of showing everybody that, yo, the original form of hip hop is still real powerful, and I know everybody felt that. I know they felt it. It's nothing like that. Was nothing like watching one of these, you know, these hip hop rap concerts that you go to nowadays. It's not even close, man. It's not even close. That was like a beautiful thing to see. So that's my question, man. Is the culture gonna benefit? If not, fuck them. Man, I say fuck that shit. You know, if it is gonna benefit, then yo, that's cool. You know, and that's cool, because really and truly, what should be happening is people within the culture should be putting on these events, you know, or promoting their, you know, their own shows where there are, you know, MCs, DJs, B-boys, and maybe even some graph, you know what I'm saying? They put up the canvases and people could tag while they're in the party. And yeah, bring back the hip-hop party. Man, I miss those days. Those was beautiful days, you know? And I remember, yeah, going into a couple clubs where they had the canvas. In the Roxy, actually, they used to have a big canvas, and you could tag on it, you know, and people used to even spray paint. And those was, it was a beautiful thing to see all the elements, you know, in one house. You know, right now it feels like, you know, they talk about the culture. You know, the culture is there, but you know, the breakers and the MCs and the DJs are kind of like, yeah, it's like a bad marriage. They live in the same house, but they sleep in separate rooms. You know, like I said, when I said like they showed me mad love in Italy and in France and in Croatia, the B-boys. Like here in Norway, for some reason, yeah, the B-boys, yeah, they're like to themselves. They do things, but I've invited them to numerous events that I promoted. They never showed up. I've invited them to, you know, ciphers. We had outdoor free ciphers, and all the rappers from, you know, from the city and neighboring cities would come. And yeah, we used to have some good turnouts. B-boys never showed up. And I'm like, this is a hip-hop event. It's like, how can you not show up? You know, had, like I said, promoted shows, even with like uh, J. Rue, the Damager, and all that. Invited the B-boys, never showed up. And that's what I'm talking about. It's like that unity. You know, we need to get that unity back. So I would like to see that, where it's like breakers are more involved within the rapping. It's like these rap concerts where they kind of like bring you in like cattle. You stand there, you watch the show, and then it's over. I feel like, man, yeah, I'm done with those. You know, I mean, unless it's somebody that I know and they invite me in, you know, and they want me to be there, then I'll go. Other than that, I ain't going to that. Now, if it's a hip-hop party, which it's been a while since I've been to one, if it's a hip-hop party, I'll be there. And that's where the DJ's spinning, you know, some classics, cutting and scratching. Then the rappers come out, you know, and start doing their thing, MCing, you know, the party. And then having a couple of ciphers with the B-boys, and if we're lucky enough, have some graffiti artists. And that's where my heart is at, man. Like I said, B-boy for life and for the culture. So what do you think? Does breaking belong in the Olympics, man, or not? You know, I know they've been trying to get they tried to get different styles of dancing into the Olympics years ago, you know, and they couldn't do it. You know, because I asked that question too. It's like, why not other dances? I mean, like, you know, ballet, you know, ballerinas got some skills, you know, so it's like, but is breaking really a sport? I know with all the aerodynamics and all that, you know, it looks like, you know, floor exercises and all that, but it's more than that, you know. You see them floor exercises really mechanical. When it comes to breakdancing, the art, you know, it's expressing yourself through the body, you know, with your body. It's like, it's a beautiful thing. And yeah, I just hate to see these young cats get chewed up and spit out, exploited. You know, for that, man, you might as well just do it for yourself. Then, you know, you ain't really getting nothing out of it. So, but yeah, they said you know, they tried to get other dance forms in the Olympics and they failed. And you know, I read about these certain individuals that like the art form. I don't know how deep they were in the culture, but they were for the art form, and they wanted to get it into the Olympics. And what they pitched to the Olympics was, you know, how it would broaden their audience. It's like a whole new untapped source, you know, would be tuning in to the Olympics, you know, bringing their viewership up and bringing their, you know, ticket sales up. That's how they pitched it to them, you know, and that's why I'm bringing up this question. So I'm a diehard hip hop head, man, for real, you know, old head, whatever you want to call me, OG, but that's where I'm at. So yo, hit the comments and let me know what you think, man. Does it belong in the Olympics, or should we just off with that? Let me know. Put your comments down there. Hey, yo, make sure that you subscribe and hit that notification bell, and I'm gonna keep dropping, you know what I'm saying? Every time I drop a video, you get notified if you hit that bell up there, you know. And yeah, whatever you want to say, negative or positive, it's all love. Just be respectful and I'll be respectful. Alright, this is Capital X TV.